Hey, what's going on, internet? Professional Asian out here, back again with yet another new video. And today, for the first time ever, I've got with me a subtle Asian car coming from North Korea. Now, just in case you guys weren't exactly able to tell what kind of car this was from the thumbnail, let's just call it a misprinted Chevrolet Impala. So this, guys, is a 1996 Datsun Skyline GTR. Or if you're someone that's heavily into the technical anime chassis terms, it's also called the Nissan R33. That acronym GTR is a legendary moniker, and it stands for Godzilla Taco Race Car. Long story short, it basically got that name because it was the most dominating car in the Asian version of NASCAR. In addition, it was also a decent contender against the legendary Sierra Cosworth car, which was actually bested by the previous generation, which was the R32 Skyline. So generally speaking, even if you guys are the most basic car enthusiast, you already know what the big four Nissan R chassis are. You've got the R32, the R33, the R34, and then the one that's missing the clutch pedal. All these cars were pretty advanced for the eras that they were all featured in. All featured advanced all-wheel drive technology and a tried and true 6-cylinder engine that stuck around for well over a decade. Think about it as like Nissan's 4G63, except it had an extra turbo, 2 more cylinders, and 5 more throttle bodies. So in a sense, these cars were pretty much fully capable of taking on the likes of Porsches, Ferraris, and really fast Toyotas. See, but unfortunately, just like all children, there's always that like one black sheep of the family. And just so happens the R33 generation of Skylines happens to fall in that like weird negative spotlight in the family of Skylines. So it's like whenever you and your friends are like smoking drugs and stuff, whenever the conversation happens to be about cars, Skylines in particular, the cars that are usually brought up are like the 32 and the 34. The 33 usually takes like a back seat in the whole conversation of the whole Skyline topic. For some reason, this generation of Skyline just isn't liked as much as the 32 and the 34. Just for some reason, the 33 never got that sort of positive spotlight like the 32 and the 34 got for some reason. Part of me wants to believe the fact that the only reason why people feel kind of weird towards the R33 is because of that one Initial D episode. If I recall correctly, it was the one where that one older guy with the R34 races that one Asian Justin Bieber fellow with the RX-7. In one part, he just kind of talks to himself about all the Skylines he used to own and just talks about the 32 and the 34 and just totally shits on the R33 completely. But yeah, the R33 was the biggest out of the bunch. As a matter of fact, it had a total length of 4,675 millimeters. It beat the length of the latest R35 by 20 millimeters, making it still the biggest GTR. And I'm sure you guys have seen that one popular docking picture with the R34 and the R35. Yeah, it's a big car. But then again, this car was in an era where bigger was essentially seen as better. It was kind of like the marketing gimmick to make people feel like they had more of a presence on the road, and that you were better off than the guy that was next to you at the stoplight. It was literally hip to be the bigger asshole.
Grand Prix by Pontiac. Wider is better.
Just look at Nissan's Z family tree. The S30 was sleek and nimble looking, but by the time the 90s came, the Z32 was rather large and it kind of sort of looked like a slice of pizza. Regardless, the R33 is still a part of the most coveted version of a high-performance Nissan that you can buy. And it wasn't always available to everyone back then. Back when the R35 debuted about a decade ago in 2009, Nissan, through the leadership of Carlos Ghosn, was nice enough to give the world a chance to experience for themselves just what it was like to be part of the GTR family. Unfortunately, that car kind of had a ridiculous markup. I mean, that was like a $100,000 Altima. And to this day, in 2019, we still see 2009 models still hold really good value for what they are. That's a 10-year-old car. The interesting part is, so in America, we got like 2 different versions of Nissan. We have Nissan and Infiniti. Infiniti is kind of like our version of Nissan Premium. They got all like the upscale cars and all that. If you price out the most expensive Infiniti car with all the bells and whistles, you know, fully maxed out, every option available, it still ends up costing less than a base GTR. That's kind of like seeing McDonald's sell a cheeseburger for like $300. Well, the time has come and gone. The laws have bended in favor of some of the classic Japanese car that we've been wanting to own since playing Gran Turismo for the first time in the USA. The general rule is that cars that are older than 25 years can be federally imported from a foreign country. So you can bet once that rule came into effect, floods of Skylines were coming into freedom territory, starting off with R31s and R32s.
Knock knock. It's the United States.
But yeah, let's not forget that whole Motorex controversy from like forever ago. Motorex was basically a company that actually managed to import and legalize Skylines for a very short time. Of course, they got shut down, but some of those cars to this day are actually still alive and well. but for obvious reasons, they probably stay out of public eye because, you know, they're worth a lot of money. Yeah, but if you guys want to find out more about the motor wreck story, you can pretty much easily Google or YouTube it, and I'm sure there's a flood of information, like videos and articles about the whole debacle which happened like in the early 2000s, or like mid 2000s, I forget. I'm not entirely sure. I don't do my research because I'm still wearing a backwards hat and sunglasses in 2019. So the owner of this car is Wob Alvarez. He bought this car a few years back and had it modified almost exactly how he envisioned his car would look like. Not to mention, this was his all-time favorite car in Gran Turismo back in the day. So essentially, this is kind of like a childhood dream turning fully into reality. With a numerous amount of high-quality rare bits and pieces coming from Japan and the moon, this car kind of looks like it should be somewhere on the cover of Super Street. Super Street. Hope you're paying attention, man. So, Wob basically spared no expense when building this car. Everything's full quality, everything's pretty much a rare bit and piece. This thing was literally tailored to the optimum in JDM parts and performance. So you got everything from Advent RSDF wheels, a whole bunch of ARC accessories, and a ridiculous set of endless brakes. This car can easily match the value of an entire car meet. And you guys know which car meets I'm talking about. The ones where everyone floors it at the very end when they leave and they still end up getting made fun of by everyone in the parking lot. Yeah, those meets. Yeah, I think my favorite part of those meets is when the 16-year-olds get in their car and yell 12 for no reason at the sky. And here's the thing that stands most about this car especially, and it's some of the performance bits. To start off, it's got a pair of Hks 2530 turbos and an RB29 stroker motor from Spool Imports, and a whole plethora of Hks goodies like exhaust, intercooler, fuel rails. Even the coil packs are high quality. These coil packs are high quality coil packs from Japan. They're built by Okada. They cost $250 a piece, so they're not exactly the cheapest coil packs you can buy. But the most unique part about this entire build is a rare Hks accessory that's actually quite hidden, and that's the Hks Vkm. That guy brings in something new to the RB26, and allows variable valve timing on the intake side. So essentially, without going into further detail about science and things that I really don't understand, this car does have VTEC. Oh, and by the way, you're not going to want to Google a price of the Vkm. Just don't, because it's not a cheap part. Yeah, that's the price. Don't buy this for your car. So it goes to show you that this car is fast. I mean, it's not Bugatti or anything, but for a street car, this is probably way more car than what some can actually handle. Not to mention, this car is covered in so much rare parts that it might as well be featured in some sort of North Korean Gucci catalog. While a lot of street cars are unique in their own way, one thing about this car stands out a tad bit more, and that's its 6-speed sequential transmission. It's expensive, it's loud, but holy shit does this thing rip. Ready? So the transmission in this car is a PPG 6-speed sequential gearbox with a GM 6-speed upgraded input shaft. The old 5-speed performed well, but adding a 6th gear really opens up a whole entire world of benefits that I'm not even going to pretend to explain. This is the kind of shit that you see in purpose-built drag cars or drift cars. Plus, at a $16,000 price tag, you're not exactly going to be seeing anything like this at your local car meet. Actually, to be completely honest, the only reason that this owner got this kind of sequential transmission is to have more gears than an Evo 10. Now let's take a look down here and grab a glance at this car's shoes and stoppers. These are Advent RSDF wheels. The DF stands for Deep Forge, which is a pretty straightforward multi-spoke design based off the RS2, and it's finished in a racing gloss black color. The only difference with these wheels is that they are actually the first fully forged wheel in the Advent RS wheel line. Now I know gray or silver cars aren't exactly the most popular colored cars out in the market, but when you pair these things with like black wheels, they really do stand out a lot, and I think it's a great color combination. Behind those chocolate donuts sit a very expensive set of endless brakes, the kind that you see on some JGTC cars. So the unique thing about this is that it's a street car with endless brakes on all 4 corners of the car, both front and rear. Usually when someone rocks expensive brakes like Brembos or Endless or Project Mu, they usually have them only up front. But when you have someone that completes the look with both front and back, that's plus 10 points to Gryffindor. Especially nowadays, you know, nowadays everyone's got a modified car and everyone pretty much looks the same. So the thing that really sets apart people are seeing if they actually completed the look with huge, ginormous racing brakes. The 2.9 stroker, along with its turbos and sequential transmission, make this car feel like an insane track-ready race car. But the R33 is definitely rocking the best of both worlds. Good performance all while having daily driven comfort such as air conditioning and somewhat usable back seats. And it's got a little cup holder too, which you probably shouldn't really use anyway. So all in all, this particular R33 GTR has earned its place amongst one of the best street cars in the world to date. So if you happen to be in the North Korean area and you happen to attend one of the car meets around here, be on the lookout for this beast, because it just may snap you out of the trance that you only had for the 32 and the 34. So for the first time ever in the professional Asian history grading scale, I'm proud to give this R33 GTR a perfect 100% A+ score. And that's not just because its camshaft is worth 4 times the amount of my car. Hey guys, before I end this video, I just wanted to make a quick shout out to my buddy Wob. If you guys want to follow his build on the R33 GTR and all its progress, be sure to follow him on Instagram at Wicked33GTR. If you guys did like this particularly dumb video, please hit the like and subscribe button on this video. Hit the subscription bell for like 20 years of extra good luck. And if you guys want to purchase any literally out here apparel, like the shirt that I'm wearing in this video, hit up literallyouhere.com. I got any discount codes down here in the description below if you guys want to check that out. Help support my channel and all that good stuff. And yeah, I got nothing else for you guys. I'll see you guys in the next vid. Thanks for watching. While a lot of street cars are unique in their own way, one thing about this car that stands out a tad bit more is its 6-speed transsexual. That's not the word I was looking for. Sequential transmission. Okay.